Hello and welcome to Workplace Wizard, episode number 26. This episode is called Self-Improvement. I'm your host, Arnold Smalley.
And I'm Gavin Wong.
And we're here to help improve workplace environments. So, Gavin, today's topic is self-improvement. Why self-improvement today?
Well, it's a good question, particularly over the weekend, because I did forget to say to you, actually, I've got a few things to say to you. Ole, 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 ole. Ryder Cup. Ryder Cup.
No. Of course, I didn't get a chance to watch most of it, but I guess I didn't miss anything.
No, but when you talk about having to self-improve, that's what you're going to have to take away from that, you Team USA.
Ooh, he held on to that one. That's a good one.
Bit of improvement to do, shall we say. But clearly,
yes,
we all have to improve in life.
They need some self-improvement mentally. But no. I didn't get a chance to watch much of any of it. I did see some highlights on ESPN, but that's about it. So congratulations to England and the rest of the world against, lonely old USA by itself. But,
well, it's just Europe. We only needed Europe to do it. That's fine.
It was only Europe?
Of the world, just Europe.
Oh.
But actually, what's interesting about it is that even these great players who are at the top of their game, we can always improve, can't we? There's always things that we can do. Even Scotty Scheffler and Dushanbe can always do things to actually get better. And right. You can see that in athletes. I think that's quite actually something that we all need to do in life.
Right. But self-improvement goes along the lines of our what we talk about emotional intelligence when we're talking about being self-aware. A way of being self-aware is knowing what your limits are and how you can improve. And I do a lot of training. I just spent a week with John Maxwell. I did trainings. I went to Chicago. We were working with Advent Health, and and my wife was working with Advent Health, and I was learning here. And you're getting all this information coming from all these different ways. Why? Because it's always great to learn. We're lifelong learners. We're the LLLs, the lifelong learners, and because of that, I listen to other podcasts, and one of my favorites is Jim Quick. The Brain Train individual, and he brought something up that was really, really interesting. And I did find that this was something that did benefit me at one time. And he talked about cold showers. And I know that somebody on this podcast is an expert at cold showers.
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert, but yeah, I have been having cold showers probably for the last 4 years.
And it still hadn't helped your hair grow?
So you've been having cold showers too?
No, I shaved mine this morning.
No, it's not good for you. No, it's not follically. It's not very good, but it's good for other things. And it took me, what is it about cold showers? I watched a long time ago, 4 years ago. There was this chap called Wim Hof. Have you heard of Wim Hof?
No, I haven't.
I can't remember which country he's from, but he does a lot about this cold water immersion and all this kind of thing he does, and getting into. He talked about cold showers as well, and the importance of how they benefit you. So I started doing cold showers. I would have it temperature hot, and slowly put it down. But I got to a stage where I just put it. Eventually, I just thought, now I'm going to put it to cold and get under and just do it. And that's what I do now. I just turn it to full cold. Take a couple of deep breaths. You've got to psych yourself up and then just get under. And it's only that split second. You're like, and actually, it's fine after that. And that feeling of that coldness all over your body, you get used to it very quickly. But it's really invigorating. I mean, I must admit, every morning you can feel groggy. If I get up early for work, I have a cold shower, and almost instantaneously, I feel ready to go. I mean, I fall asleep about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my age. But the morning, honestly, just as soon as I have that shower, it's really good. I mean, do you have cold showers?
Yeah, actually, Gavin, I think one of the most impressive things that I ever experienced, like at a club, or not a club, I mean like a health spa, or health club. You go in there, you can lift weights, and sometimes you can say, "Oh man, I had a great workout." But there was one experience I had. I was in California at a springs resort. It was a spa resort, and they had a cold hot plunge. So you would go spend like 1 minute or 2 minutes in the cold. And to me, it was completely freezing. And then you get out and you go and get into the hot tub. And then you go back to the cold for another minute or 2 minutes. And you go back to the hot. And you had to do this cycle like 5 times. And very few people were finishing the 5 times. Like my wife, she said, "Oh, after 3 times, she was done." But yeah, I completed the cycle of 5 times. And really afterwards, I just felt, like you said, I felt refreshed. I felt, ready to go. It was the most effective treatment I've ever had. I've had massages where I think, that felt great in this, but that little stint I did with the hot cold plunge was rejuvenating. It was incredible. So, but what are we talking about for self-improvement? How can this actually help an individual?
What was interesting you said about this is Jim Quick talks about this, and I find that quite fascinating because there are some obviously physical benefits to having a cold shower. You feel it's that shock, and you feel invigorated and re-energized. But there's lots of neuroscience around
Right.
cold showers and cold water immersion as well. And one of the aspects I like about the cold shower theory is that actually it helps you build resilience. Because if you do something daily on a daily basis, which is a struggle, and you get through that, you actually learn to deal with bad things essentially, and you can use that outside of that practice. Because one thing which is great about the brain and the neuroscience is that you can train yourself to be more resilient, and it's just changing the neuropaths. That it's called neuroplasticity. Basically, you change all the different connections in your brain, but you have to practice. And this is why I like the idea about actually using something physical like that to improve yourself, knowing that you can use it to just make yourself more resilient. Because if you can become more resilient, you're much better as an individual. You become more aware of which that's emotional awareness. But if you can become more aware yourself, the ability to then understand other people and actually support people in a different way, you're more effective being able to do that. So for me, that idea that you can take something so physical which can improve so many different aspects of your life is quite fascinating.
Yes, I totally agree. And Jim Quick, he's always given things to rewire your brain, such as just doing things, self-improvement to help improve your own neuroplasticity is like brushing your teeth with your opposite hand. Just little things like that, because what it does is it makes your mentally work. Because how many times do you actually think about it when you're brushing your teeth? Am I brushing the top, and am I brushing the side? Am I brushing, you don't think about it when you're brushing your teeth. It's just something that just goes by nature. But if you change hands, then all of a sudden now you have to think about it, and it changes. You have to like concentrate, and you actually have to think about you're brushing your teeth. So it's little things really, like that.
Yeah, and that's so important, because if we want to, it's good being self-aware, but then you've got to do something about it.
Right.
And you've got to be able to do something. And the thing about the toothbrush is quite interesting, because the brain, a lot of the reasons the brain does things on autopilot is the survival thing. So it's easy. We want to do it quickly because it's survival. But if you want to stretch yourself and get better, you have to keep putting yourself under stress, and that includes the brain. So you stress the brain, but then you've got to let it recover. So things you don't want to stress it too long, because you become distressed, and that's the issue. But and constantly trying to go on.
No, and one of the other facts that he always goes to is by using FAST, and FAST is just FAST. F stands for forget what you already know about something, so that way it opens up your mind to learn something new, and then be active with it, because learning and everything else is not a spectator sport. If you want to learn something, you actually have to be active. You have to actually get involved and participate and do it. It's like for you, if you wanted to run a marathon tomorrow, you probably could get up and run a marathon tomorrow, but most people
Slowly.
cannot. Most people
Mm,
cannot. And the thing
mm,
about it is, you'd have to be active. I'm not saying that
yeah.
you couldn't do it, because if you say you can or if you say you can't, you're
Mm,
right. And matter of
mm.
fact, Henry Ford said that, and now in the Ford commercials, they actually say that in the Ford commercials.
Oh,
If
do
you
they?
think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was something that was said by Henry Ford, and that goes truth to the matter. And that's
Mm,
the stance. So the S is for your state, and
okay.
that's exactly what it means by your state. If you think you can, if you think you
Mm,
can, you're right. So if
yeah.
you want to start learning to do something, or thinking that, hey, I can run the marathon, but
Mm,
it's going to take some time. You're going to have to be active. You're going to have to forget what you already know, because it's going to be
mm,
something different. And then you got to be active towards it. And then your state of
mm.
mind, you have to believe that you can. And then once you've done all that, teach someone else to do it as well. So that's your
Okay.
fast.
Yeah.
Forget, active, state of mind, and then teach it.
So I like that active phrase, because that's about being curious. Because if you're curious, you'll ask yourself lots of questions. You will challenge assumptions. You will find solutions. So just being curious and asking yourself questions of yourself and other people will hopefully make you better and be able to change. Yeah, I like it. It's good. Excellent.
That's good. Any other words on self-improvement, Gavin?
Well, I know you've got an awful lot of that to do, but you will get there. I think you've got to work out that it's a journey. It's a journey, but you will get to the end at some point.
It is a lifelong journey, and only thing I could do is take another step forward.
Well, exactly. Actually, that's really important, because we do have to set ourselves reasonable goals, don't we? And I think
Mhm.
that's important, because you want to be able to succeed, and you celebrate. One of whether we do this as an individual or through organizational change, very important to celebrate small gains and small
Yes,
successes. Once you do
yes.
that, you get to the next one.
Actually, funny thing you said that, Gavin, because that's exactly what Jim Quick said in the last episode I just watched.
Is that right? Really?
Celebrating small gains.
There you go. There
Celebrate
you go.
several before you go to bed at night. Think about something that happened that day and celebrate it. So these are
Yeah.
ways of self-improving yourself. And if you can improve yourself, believe you me, you can improve those others around you.
Hmm.
And just a happy person at work is so contagious. So if you're the happy one, be that contagious person for everybody else at the workplace environment. So
Absolutely.
hope this helps someone. If you have any questions or some other additional tips for us, go ahead and drop them in the messages, and let us see what you have to say about it. And we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. And for now, if you want to reach out to Small World Solutions, please get a hold of us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or watch our YouTube videos. And you can reach us at email at asmalley@smallworldsolutions.net. And you can call us at 754-971-7007. And for now, we'll say goodbye till next time.
Goodbye.